Welcome to this Lubuntu Screencast. And in this screencast I want to show you the very cool and brand new Space File Manager, or in short SpaceFM. So you can get SpaceFM from this website called ignorangguru.github.com/spacefm. You can find news about this file manager, you can find screenshots, a user manual, a forum, wiki, SpaceFM dialog, which is also a nice application which allows you to build like Sanity-like dialog boxes that are also built in SpaceFM. And you have, if you have some bugs or requests, you can just simply report them here. And you can get this package basically for every Linux distribution out there, Arch Linux, Debian-based distributions just like Lubuntu or Ubuntu, Gentoo, OpenSUSE, PC Linux OS, Portal Magic, Sabayon, Slackware, Slitats, System Rescue CD, Vector Linux, and others. So either you just click on the Debian-based and downloads, or you can just simply go and click on SourceForge. This will open up this website, and here you can just simply download the deb file, either the normal one, or if you're using an older Lubuntu version that still uses HAL for accessing disks and devices, you can just download the SpaceFM HAL version here. But I just simply downloaded this one here. As you can see here, 1.1 megabytes in size. This is basically because this is not really a binary package. You can install it just like a binary package, but it will then start and download all the sources file and then just start building the file manager. So it's a little bit, a strange deb file, I would say. But in this case, the installation just is a little bit longer than usual. But it works pretty fine on a freshly installed Lubuntu 12.10, for example. So after you've installed, you can find it under the Lubuntu menu, accessories, and there you have SpaceFM and SpaceFM file search, which is also pretty handy. So this file manager also offers a search, a pretty easy to use search. As you can see here, you can search for file name, you can highlight or check case sensitive in here, you can add places where to search, you can search in subfolders or search for hidden files. You can search in content of files, for example. You can use regular expression to search for, and you can search for size and date, or with size and date in here as well. So pretty nice finding and searching tool. Let me get to the file manager itself. So let's open up SpaceFM, and this is how it will look like. I've opened it up in a maximized state. Normally it would look a little bit smaller. So this is basically the SpaceFM file manager, and what you see here, what you will see here is basically that it's just reminds kinda of PCManFM, and this is basically because the application itself is built upon PCManFM, or it's just a clone or fork, however you would call it. And this one, it's called SpaceFM basically because it has lots and lots of space that it can use. You can see that there's a toolbar on the top right with this little check boxes or check marks, and if you click one of them, you can see that it will just open up another file manager, just like, for example, to the right of the current one. And you can do this to the bottom, and you can even split the bottom up. And now I have 4 file managers running here, and I can configure them just like the way I want it. For example, in this one I have set my left panel to show my media devices. I can set this one to show my bookmarks. I can set this one to show my directory tree in here, and so on. So this is pretty nice, pretty handy, and very confusing for some, but others may like this configuration that you can do, and this many file managers, so that you don't have to open up many windows, just one window, and you can work then with files wherever you want. So let me close them all up, and let me go to some other features that this file manager has. So for example, you can easily switch between the tree view. You can go to the bookmarks view in here. You can also enable tree view in bookmarks view and devices view. But for the sake of this experiment, I would just disable the tree view. Now I have my bookmarks in here. I can just add new bookmarks by dragging, normally by dragging and dropping. Dragging. It's not so easy. Now I have it. And dropping. If this does not work, just like for me, for example, you can just right click and right click on the bookmarks and click on new. And in this case, I have to go into the videos directory, right click on new, and now I have my bookmark set. So it's a little bit confusing in this case, but it works pretty fine. So what I can do now is also by right clicking, you can see I have some settings in here, so I can enable a single click to open up the bookmarks. Just like, for example, if I single click on my username, it will open up my home directory, and I can just set this to double click just by disabling this checkbox. I can set this to open it up in a new tab. So if I just single click on my videos, for example, it will open up in a new tab instead of a new instead of jumping directly through it to it. So I can set the icon, by the way. So if I don't like this icon, I can set another icon here. Just enter the name of the icon in, which is basically in your icon theme path. In this case, I just set it to folder just to look good, but you can set it to whatever you like. In this case, you cannot set different icons for the different folders. This is perhaps a little bit a limitation for this feature, but it's pretty nice because normally you don't have such a feature to set the icon of the bookmarks. Now let me go to the media, or the how it's called in here, the devices. Basically, you can see I have an SR0, which is basically not a hard drive, but an unmounted CD-ROM drive. If I want to change this icon, I can just right click on it, go to settings, and then I have the option to choose an icon, and you can see that I can choose then, for example, optical no media, and normally then switch, but I'm not sure why it is not switching in here. What I can do here with the right click is I can set some things up, just like, for example, auto mount. So if I want to mount automatically optical drive, I can just check this mark here. A removable drive, just like, for example, in USB thumb drive, I can just check this mark here, and it will be auto mounted. I can set it to open it up a new tab instead of opening up a new window, going directly to this new media. I can say unmount on exit, which is also a pretty nice feature. So if you then exit the file manager, it will automatically unmount all devices that are plugged in, so you don't have to just manually do it. And you can set mount volumes. So in this case, you can see there's an instruction on how to set them. You can set special devices to mount automatically. And there are some other settings, just like, for example, auto run. So I can just simply enable auto run on mount, or on audio CD, on video DVD, and so on. So if I click on audio CD, for example, I can then here set the device label, and the device mount point for the audio CD to run auto run, basically. I have some other options, just like, for example, the mount options. So I can just simply enter some mount options in here if I have a special FS type mount options and so on. For VFAT, for example, for anti-fairs and so on, I can just set them up in here, which is also pretty nice. The same thing goes for unmount options, or the mount command, first of all. The mount command. Here you can set the mount command, as you can see here. I can use, for example, udevil, can use pmount, udisks. Here are some examples how to mount those media. So if you really are looking forward to just simply go in every detail to just simply set up your file manager and how it should mount things, you can do this very good with this file manager. You can leave it also blank for auto detection, which is the thing usually I do. But if you're having very small little Linux distribution, a customized Lubuntu version, for example, and you're not using udisks or something like this, you have pmount that you used or that they are used that you are used before, then you can just simply use pmount in here, which is pretty handy. You have some other options, just like, for example, setting the unmount option also, but also to show various different devices and drives. In this case, you can see it will show empty drives. This is something that I really do not want. So in this case, okay, now I have no device in here. But what I want to show is internal drives. So, in this case, you can see run drives. This is not what I wanted. I wanted here SDA1, for example, for my root directory, and some other devices in here. Let me check if I can, or I can also list, if I don't want to list don't want to show the internal devices, I can list my partition table as well. Normally seems not to work here, or I can just set up here volumes, and now it's showing only volumes like the SDA one. Just let me to make it a little bit clearer. I can set up very different volumes that should be hidden or that should be showed in here also as well. So you can see basically I have very good configuration options in here to simply configure everything out of this file manager. And this is not all. I think this is pretty much a very good customization tool. But there's also some other things, some very interesting things in working with files, for example. So what I do often is configure files as root, or I have to move files to root directory, just like, for example, theme files. If I downloaded a theme, a GTK theme, for example, an icon theme, and I just simply want it to be available for all users on my computer, I have to just copy it to the /usr/share/icons or /themes directory. And normally what I do is just open up a terminal and just move it or copy it right there. What I can do now with SpaceFM is just right click on the file, and then I can go to edit, and there I have a root option, and this root option allows me to copy or move the file too. So if I click on copy to, you can see I will just simply, it will pop up a location or choose a location and open dialog, and you can then just choose a location, and it will then use the root user or the sudo command to just copy this file to this directory, which is pretty nice, a pretty handy feature. And you have some other options as well. As you can see here, if I go to edit, you can just copy the name of the file, which is pretty nice. You can copy the parent if you want to. You can copy the path to the file, which is also pretty nice, so that you don't have to manually check or out the path or something like this. You can then just click in here, copy to. You can just simply go to another location, but you can also just copy to another tab, which is pretty nice. So without just dragging and dropping it, you can just with right click copy it to tab panel. If I have a second panel open, you can see that I now have the option just to, instead of dragging and dropping, go to edit, go to copy to, and then panel 2 or the next or the previous panel in this case. The same goes for moving, and the same goes for hiding. So I can also hide this file. So click on hide. You can see a small explanation of what it does for hidden files. And let me just reload this. Normally it should then hide the file, I guess, or it's only showing the explanation. I can select all files. I can select by pattern. So by file pattern or something like this. I can select files. I have some other options, just like, for example, show hidden files. I can change the style of how the files are displayed. In this case, the default one is detailed list view. I can go to compact list view if I want to, or I can just simply go to the good old icons view if I like this better. And yeah, I can navigate through it. I have the option to just simply also customize my toolbar. As you can see here on my toolbar, I have a reload button, I have a home button as well. But if I have basically this bookmarks view here, I can just go to home wherever I want to, so just don't need this home button. So what I can do is just click on this little configure button here on the top left. In the left toolbar, I want to just hide the home button. Click on it. And it crashed. This can sometimes happen. Sorry, crashed. Let me just open it up again. Normally it should work. You can with a click just normally hide this things in here, or just simply very handy if you have various different file managers open. You can just go in here, click on right toolbar, and then click on add a new tab, and you can see that this right toolbar now has a new tab, which is pretty nice. So this works pretty handy, this menu, and yeah, it's a pretty good thing to configure stuff. So the next thing that I want to show you is there are some plugins. So you have plugin support. You can install some plugins from either from the file or an URL, or copy them somewhere. So if you have some plugins, so there's basically a plugin support to enable even more features to this file manager, which is pretty nice. But you can also go to tools and then click on new command, and then you can create simply a new command. Just like, for example, a command. I think on the website there was a compare command introduced that you can just include in here. But what I can do is just open up terminal or something like this. Open terminal. I call it open terminal. Click OK, and what I can do now is just simply, as you can see here, enter the program or bash command line for this command basically. And what I can do is just go and I will just open up Alex terminal, and I will let me go to Alex terminal and to the man page, because I'm not sure if there's a command -E. Is there a command to directly go to working directory? Yeah, working directory it's called. Set the terminal as working directory. Let me copy this. So let me paste it here, and I will set this to the %D, and this will open up Alex terminal in the current working directory. Hopefully this will work. As you can see, it worked. So let me close this, let me close this. So this is now in my tools bar, as you can see here. So if I just go to downloads, click on tools, open terminal, it should open the terminal now in the downloads folder, as you can see. It's also displaying a nice little running sign, which you can, I think, hide somewhere, which is also displaying the output of the command, and you can stop it if you don't like it, and so on. Or you can just close this, and it's still working. Pretty nice. So you can just simply edit the available commands in the file manager. This, by the way, should also work for the right click, I guess. Somehow that worked. Should work also to edit. Perhaps it's I saw it in the screenshot, but just did not test it out in here. But this is pretty much yeah, only a few features that I can show you. You can set up a browser manual location if you want. You can get more plugins. If you click on this, it will open up and goes to the plugin web page, and you have some plugin here. For example, the Mount Tools plugin, the Advanced Find plugin, the Battery Name plugin, the CD emu plugin, the Dropbox plugin. So if you have Dropbox installed, you can just use a Python script to just for example show you the public to the share address, the URL to share files and folders and so on. You can have a ClamAV scan and so on. So there are lots and lots of plugins that you can just install, video convert to, and so on, Samba mounting. So it's a pretty unique experience and a pretty good file manager, really, I have to say. It has a lot and lots of customization features built in. You can customize almost everything out of it. And yeah, this is SpaceFM. You can see it's version 0.82, and I think with this lots and lots of features, with this plugin support, I can really imagine that this could be, this really could be someday be the best file manager that is out there for Lubuntu. It's not quite there yet, but it is pretty good, pretty handy to use. You can add some bookmarks, you can go, you have some very unique features. One feature I have to show you, which is also pretty nice. You have a tasks manager. What this does, this task manager, is simply just like an FTP client or something like this. It will just list up every task, just like copying or moving files in here in this list, and you can see the progress, you can see the total copied file, the elapsed time, and so on. You can just stop or pause this thing. So I don't think I have a big file that I can just copy and paste somewhere in to see the task. Now, as you can see, it's too fast to see it in this case, but normally you have this option to just simply do this. One thing that I did not check out that is available in and of course you have here some other options for the task managers, like setting the columns, setting the pop-ups, setting errors, setting the queues in here. So pause an error, for example, which is also very nice, that you can just simply resume it if you have, for example, if the hard drive just simply is full and you've copying a video or Blu-ray rip or something like this, a legal Blu-ray rip, by the way, then you can just pause on an arrow and then just simply move files out of the way so that your hard drive is free again, and then just resume the copying process, which is pretty nice, pretty handy feature. One thing that I did not test out is if I have support for, just like for example SFTP support. Samba support I think is built in there. If it is using SFTP support, this would be pretty nice, pretty awesome. As you can see, mounting network share requires UDevil to be installed. You can set the custom protocol handler by right-clicking on the path bar. So right-clicking on the path bar, protocol handlers. So I can just simply set protocol handlers, just like for example NFS, Samba, etc., etc. So I can just simply install UDevil in this case, and it then will also mount those protocols, which is pretty nice. I also have in every dialog, as you saw, I have a help button which allows me to get some help going to a website and so on. So this is pretty much a very good file manager called SpaceFM. It runs pretty fast, and this is not only everything. It's not only a file manager, but it also has the capability, just like as PCManFM, to handle desktop icons. Let me make it a little bit smaller. So these desktop icons that you see here in the background, you can also handle them with SpaceFM if you want to. Just go to preferences in here, and you can see I can set the desktop in here. I can set the wallpaper, the colors, and so on, and have some advanced options as well. As you can see, I can set the terminal, the default terminal, the terminal SU command, the graphical SU command. So GKSU is set here for default. The editor, can run the editor in the terminal. So if I prefer a terminal editor, just like Vim or Nano, Emacs or something like this, I can set the roots editor for editing root files, and the root I can run the roots editor in the terminal. I can set the date format. In this case, you can see it's set to this one. I can set it to a different one if I'd like to. So this is really a very customizable file manager. I did not check everything out because it's really cool to experience and to get new features in this file manager. And yeah, I really like this file manager, and it's one of my favorite file managers, I think. And you should test it out. Go to the SpaceFM website and just download this cool file manager. It really runs cool, good, and fine. And this is everything for this screencast. I hope you enjoyed this, and yeah, thanks for watching. Until the next time.